There is a lovely road that runs from Exipo into the hills. These hills are grass-covered and rolling, and they are lovely beyond any thinking of it. About you, there is grass and bracken. It may hear the forlorn crying of the titihoya bird. The grass of the wild is rich and matted. You cannot see the soil. The grass holds the rain and mist, and they seep into the ground, feeding the streams in every clove. The clove is cool and green and lovely beyond any saying of it. Where you stand, the grass is rich and matted. But the rich, green hills break down. They fall to the valley below, and falling change, for they grow red and bare. They cannot hold the rain and mist. The streams run dry in the clove. Too many cattle feed on the grass. It is not kept or guarded or cared for. It no longer keeps men, guards men, cares for men. The titihoya cries here no more. The great red hills stand desolate, and the earth has torn away like flesh. These are the valleys of old men and old women, of mothers and children. The men are away. The young men and the girls are away. The soil cannot keep them anymore. I bring a letter, Mfundisi.
Where did you get it, my child?
From the store, Mfundisi. The white man asked me to bring it to you.
That was good of you. Go well, small one.
Perhaps you might be hungry, Nita.
Not very hungry.
Perhaps a little hungry?
Yes, a little hungry, Mfundisi.
There's a little bowl on the kitchen table, Nita, and a spoon beside it.
I thank you.
From Johannesburg,
Yes, August 9, 1949.
Reverend Stephen Kumalo, St. Mark's Church, Nodishkini Natal. It's not from our son.
No, it's a writing I haven't seen.
It may bring news of him.
Yes, let me think. Our son Absalom is in Johannesburg. My sister Gertrude is there, and my brother John is there, but he has never written to me. Perhaps the way to find out is to open it. Read it, my helper. Your eyes are better than mine.
It's from your brother John.
Then this is truly an occasion. Read carefully, my helper.
Dear Stephen, your old faker in Christ, I don't know whether it was you who sent our dear sister Gertrude to Johannesburg or not. But if it was, for the love of your own Jesus, send and fetch her back. She says that she came looking for a husband who ran away from her. Maybe so. Anyway, she found plenty husbands. And the stories about the kind of house she keeps are not good for my business, because it's known here who she is. See to this soon, oh brother in God, or I will have the woman put away where she won't be so noticeable. Your affectionate brother John. He is an evil man.
No, he honestly thinks that I'm a faker. He thinks all men are fakers. Perhaps because he's one, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about Gertrude, if she has taken to bad ways.
What will you do?
I don't know.
If you were in Johannesburg, you could find Gertrude.
It's many hundreds of miles. Where would I find the money to go to Johannesburg?
There's the St. Chad's money.
Absalom's money? The money we saved for his school? You would let me use that?
Should you not, Stephen? Absalom will never go now to St. Chad's.
How can you say that? How can you say such a thing?
He is in Johannesburg. When people go to Johannesburg, they do not come back.
But Absalom will. Absalom went to Johannesburg for one purpose, to earn money for his education. When he returns, he will bring 12 pounds of his own and put it with the 12 pounds we have saved. And then he will have enough for a year at St. Chad's. And he will go there and learn quickly. I know him.
It's nearly a year since we had a letter from him, Stephen. We do not know him now. He has been in the mines. No young man could work in the mines and not change. Absalom would not go to the school. Take the money, use it.
Do you know what you're saying? If I take his school money and use it to bring Gertrude back. Do you know what you're saying? If I take his school money and use it to bring Gertrude back, then I have given up Absalom, I have said this by action, that he will not make a place for himself, that we shall not see him nor be proud of him again, and he is the only a drop in the great river of blacks that pours into the earth and is seen no more. I will not say this. I will not think it.
I love him as much as you do, but why has he not written to us? If there's nothing wrong, he could have written.
Oh, mother of little faith, a letter can be lost so easily. We must not cease to believe in him. We must love him and not doubt him. There's a great gulf between people, Grace, between husband and wife, between parents and child, between neighbor and neighbor. Even when you live in the same house, it's deep and wild, except for the love between us. But when there is love, the distance doesn't matter at all. Distance or silence or ears.
He sings thousands of miles.
Is the little bowl empty, Nita?
Yes, Umfundisi, I thank you.
Go well, my child.
Stay well, Umfundisi.
Stephen, please take St. Chad's money and go to Johannesburg.
You're not thinking of Gertrude. You're thinking of Absalom. Absalom.
Yes, we have heard nothing from our son for a year. Go to Johannesburg, find him.
If you wish it so much, it may be that I should go, my helper. I shall bring you word of Absalom. It will be good news, that I know. I couldn't go today. The train goes at 12 and it's past the hour, but I could go tomorrow.
You are my Stephen.
How many miles to the heart of a child? Thousands of miles, thousands of miles. When he lay on rest, he looked up and smiled. Across tens of thousands, thousands of miles. Each lives alone in a world of dark, crossing the skies in a lonely ark. Save when love leaps out like a leaping spark over thousands, thousands of miles. Not miles or walls or length of days, nor the cold of
Attention, the train for Johannesburg will be here in 5 minutes. Have your baggage ready. Train for Johannesburg.
Johannesburg, 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 Johannesburg.
Train go now to Johannesburg. Farewell.
Farewell.
Go well.
Go well.
Train now go to Johannesburg. Farewell.
Farewell.
Go well.
Go well.
This boy we love, this brother.
Go to Johannesburg. White man go to Johannesburg. He come back, he come back. Black man go to Johannesburg. Never come back, never come back.
I come back.
Please.
All this, they say. I fooled them. I come back.
Black man go to Johannesburg. Go, go, never come back. Go, go, never come back. Train goes down to Johannesburg. Farewell, farewell. Go well, go well. This boy we love, this brother. Go to Johannesburg. White man go to Johannesburg. He come back, he come back. Black man go to Johannesburg. Go, go, never come back. Go, go, never come back. Never come back, never come back.
We're in plenty of time.
Yes, I can see the plume of smoke just over the hill. The train will be here in 3 minutes.
I wonder who invented schools and Latin grammar.
It's not only your school, son. I have to get back to work too.
Anyway, I always remember this as the year I learned to ride horseback.
And I'll see that Denny gets his daily oats and exercise till you're here again. Next vacation, you can wear longer stirrups and take a few jumps with him.
Do you think he'll remember me?
I'm not sure just how much a horse remembers, but he'll be here, and we'll all be here waiting for you. The old place gets pretty lonely with only your grandmother and me.
It was the best midterm I ever had.
It was among the best I ever had. You have a book to read on the train?
I have my Latin grammar, but I'm planning to look out the window a lot.
Oh, there's Stephen Kumalo, and I haven't seen him for a year. Forgive me.
Arthur.
Yes?
I don't know what the customs are now in Johannesburg. They may be changed since I was there, but in our village, one does not go out of his way to speak to a black man.
The customs have not changed in Johannesburg, Father, but I'm not bound by these customs. I have friends among the Zulus, and my friends are my friends. Mr. Kumalo!
Hi, Mr. Jarvis.
You're making a journey?
To Johannesburg, sir. It is my first long journey and a happy one. I go to see my son.
Ah, and Mrs. Kumalo goes with you?
No, sir. I stay with the house.
I am leaving today, too. I wish I'd had the time to see you while we were here.
Sir, it is always a great pleasure to see you. Perhaps when you come again.
That's right. There's always a next time, and I won't forget.
I know you won't, sir.
If you had struck me across the face, you couldn't have hurt me more, or damaged me more, in the eyes of those who stand here. I suppose you know that?
I don't believe that, Father. This is an old quarrel between us. We haven't time to settle it before the train goes. Perhaps we'll never settle it.
What you do in Johannesburg, I can't alter. But here, where every eye is on us, where you are known as my son, you could avoid affronting me in such a fashion. Will you remember that in the future?
Let's shake hands and agree to disagree, Father. The train is almost here.
You make no promises?
I make no promises.
Then I'm not sure that I want you to come here again, Arthur.
Father.
I am sorry. Of course you've come again.
Not if it offends you, Father, but my friends are my friends.
Goodbye, Grandfather. Goodbye, Edward.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, Arthur.
Go out.
Stay well, you who dwell here.
White man go to Johannesburg. He come back. He come back.
Click, click, clinkety.
click.
Black
man go to Johannesburg. Never come back. Never come back. Click, click, clickety.
Click, click, clickety.
Johannes, you have been identified as one of the 3 masked men who entered the kitchen of Arthur Jarvis on October 8th, between 11 and 12. Were you there at that time?
No, sir.
Where were you?
At Mrs. Ndala's house in N Street.
How do you know you were there at 11?
Because we had been dancing at a place in High Street till nearly 11, and at 11 we were at Miss Ndala's.
Who else was there?
Matthew Kumalo was there, and the girls Linda and Rose.
The witness is excused. Will Matthew Kumalo take the stand? Matthew Kumalo, you are accused of being one of 3 masked men who entered the kitchen of Arthur Jarvis on October 8th, between 11 and 12. Were you there at that time?
No, sir.
Where were you?
At Mrs. Nandala's in the N Street.
Are you sure of the time?
Yes, sir. We had been dancing at the place in High Street, and when we came to Mrs. Nandala's, she said, "You are late, but come in," and we saw that it was near 11.
Do you know Absalom Kumalo?
Yes, sir. He is the son of my father's brother.
Was he with you on this evening?
No, sir.
Do you know where he was?
No, sir.
The witness is excused for the moment. Your Honor, I am about to call the 3rd defendant, Absalom Kumalo. Before I do so, I wish to explain that his plea of guilty is his own choice, and that I have not attempted to influence him in any way.
I understand, sir. You may proceed.
Absalom Kumalo, will take the stand. Absalom Kumalo, you are accused of being one of 3 masked men who entered the kitchen of Arthur Jarvis on October 8th, between 11 and 12 in the evening. Were you there at that time?
Yes, sir.
Who were the 2 masked men with you?
Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Porphyry.
What was your purpose in going there?
To steal something from the house.
Why did you choose this day?
Because Johannes and the house would be empty at that time.
The same Johannes Porphyry here?
Yes, sir.
When did you three go to this house?
It was after 11 at night.
Did you go there disguised?
We tied handkerchiefs over our mouths.
And then?
We went into the kitchen and there was a servant there.
This man?
Yes, that is the man.
Tell the court what happened then.
This man was afraid. He saw my revolver. He said, "What do you want?" Johannes said, "We want money and clothes." This man said, "You cannot do such a thing." Johannes said, "Do you want to die?" Then this man called out, "Master, master," and Johannes struck him over the head with the iron bar.
Did he call again?
He made no sound.
What did you do?
No, we were silent and listened.
Where was your revolver?
In my hand.
And then?
Then a white man came into the doorway.
And then?
I was frightened. I fired the revolver.
And then?
The white man fell.
And then?
Matthew said, "We must go," so we all went quickly.
Where did you go?
I wandered about. I wanted to find a place to hide.
I have a question to ask, Mr. Burton.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why did you carry a revolver?
It was to frighten the servant of the house.
Where did you get this revolver?
I bought it from a man.
Was this revolver loaded when you brought it?
It had 2 bullets in it.
How many bullets were in it when you went to this house?
1.
What happened to the other?
I took the revolver out into the hills and fired it.
What did you fire it at?
I fired it at a tree.
Did you hit this tree?
Yes, I hit it.
Then you thought, now I can fire this revolver?
Yes, that is so.
And when Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Porphyry say that they were not with you at the time of the murder, were they lying?
Yes, they were lying.
Do you know where they went after the crime?
No, I don't know.
Where did you go?
I went to a plantation and buried the revolver.
And what did you do next?
I prayed there.
What did you pray there?
I prayed for forgiveness.
How did the police find out?
Johannes Porphyry brought them to where I was.
And what did you tell them?
I told them it was not Johannes who had killed the white man. It was myself.
And how was the revolver found?
No, I told the police where to find it.
And every word you have said is true?
Every word is true.
There is no lie in it?
There is no lie in it, for I said to myself, I shall not lie anymore all the rest of my days, nor do anything more that is evil.
In fact, you repented.
Yes, I repented.
Because you were in trouble?
Yes, because I was in trouble.
Did you have any other reason for repenting?
No, I had no other reason.
I have no further questions, Mr. Burton.
The witness is dismissed.
The evidence in this case is, in many ways, inconclusive, unsatisfactory, and fragmentary. Some of the witnesses are or could be interested parties. Some of the accused appear to have testified in collusion with each other or other witnesses. There are many points not clear, some of which perhaps will now never be clear. It seems quite possible that Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Porphyry are guilty with Absalom Kumalo of the murder of Arthur Jarvis. It was the identification of Porphyry by the servant who was struck that led Porphyry's arrest. It was the arrest of Porphyry that led the police to arrest Absalom and later Matthew. The alibis offered by Matthew and Johannes were obviously doubtful. No reason has come to light why Absalom should involved in the robbery and murder 2 men who were not with him in the time and not guilty. And yet, after long and thoughtful consideration, my assessors and I have come to the conclusion that the guilt of Matthew and Johannes is not sufficiently established. There remains the case against Absalom Kumalo. Except for his plea and his confession, the case against him remains substantially that against Johannes and Matthew. His guilt is not established in the testimony alone, but the testimony taken together with this confession leads us to inescapably to the conclusion that he is guilty. No reason has been offered why he should confess to a deed he did not commit, and his own insistence that he had no intention to kill operates to validate the confession itself. Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Perfrey, you are discharged and may step down. Absalom Kumalo, you have anything to say before I pronounce the sentence?
I have only this to say, that I killed this man, but I did not mean to kill him, only I was afraid.
Absalom Kumalo, I sentence you to be returned to custody and to be hanged by the neck until you are dead, and may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Take it so hard, gentlemen. Don't take it so hard. We won't get equal suffrage. We won't get social equality. We won't get any kind of equality. But those of us who are quick in the head will get along. That's the way it is everywhere, for Wild and for Zulus. Use your head, and you can live. Try to reform the world, and somebody steals your meals. Now, suppose that the Zulu says to you, I demand equality. I want to vote and I want to be represented. What do you say to him? Yes, Paulo? Don't take it so hard, gentlemen. Don't take it so hard. We won't get equal suffrage. We won't get social equality. We won't get any kind of equality. But those of us who are quick in head will get along. That's the way it is everywhere, for whites and for Zulus. Use your head and you can lead. Try to reform the world and somebody steals your meals. Now, suppose the Zulu says to you, I demand equality. I want to vote and I want to be represented. What do you say to him? You, Paulus.
I say to him, man, our political league is out for just that. It's out for equality. We won't get it this year. We won't get it next year, but we'll get it.
What else do you say to him, William?
I say that we've got a doctor in our league, brother. If somebody gets sick, he goes to your house first. You run out of mealies, maybe, and need some to tide you over. Come and see me. We got a barrel in the back room just for that.
That's right, long-term notes, like equality made them big. We are never going to pay short-term notes, like a bite to eat, keep them small. We pay them on a dot, and in 10 years, gentlemen, our league will own Johannesburg. Yes, sir.
Some pipe tobacco, please.
Native grown or imported?
Native grown, a quarter pound.
And now, gentlemen, you're part of the biggest thing that is happening in this town.
Yes, Fundisi?
I've come to see you, John.
It's Stephen, is our old gospel bird, scratching around in the big city. You got my letter?
Yes, this is Gertrude's son, little Alex.
Excuse me, gentlemen. My own brother, the son of our mother, has come. Well, any rain down your way this year?
Less than we needed, John.
You should pray, brother. You should pray. Now about Gertrude. She goes back with you to Nadashina.
She allows the child to go with me, but she stays here.
Brother, I want our sister out of this town. There is a limit to the number of bastard nephews a respectable tradesman can have.
I asked her to come with me. She would not. And she said, John won't put me John won't put me away anywhere. He would have to find me first, and he won't find me.
You have to fell with her.
Yes.
Take her son, then, and go back to your heels and your sheet iron chapel and your rusty goat. God, I thought you might rid me of this woman. If you can't do that, I have no further use for you.
Honest and straightforward, aren't you, John? I'll go. But first, there are two things I must ask. I have no room to stay in.
There is no room here.
Don't be afraid. I can pay for a room.
Perhaps I can find you one, then what else?
My son Absalom. Did you see him while he was here?
How much have you heard from Absalom?
4 letters from the mines nearly a year ago. He was well and working hard.
I see. Well, your son left the mine and went about with my son Matthew for a while. They both stayed there, but your Absalom was not a good influence on Matthew.
John!
I have to tell them to get out.
You sent them away?
Yes.
Do you know where they went?
Yes, I've written it somewhere.
I hope you would know. That makes it all easy. Now I thank my God. I thank my Tixo.
You can leave your God out of it. He's not interested. 14 Currency Street, Jordan 14, Textile Company.
Doornfontein Textiles Company, 14 Cross Street.
You did. And now you want a place to stay? You think I'm a hard man.
Brother, you have helped me. We do what we can.
Brother, you're right. We do what we can. I hope you know what you do. You're the white man's God. Trained to bark and keep us in order. You know that.
No, brother, I do not know it.
They piled up mountains of gold, and they paid our sons 3 shillings a day, and out of this wage take a heavy tax. Is that fair?
No, brother, it is not fair.
Then why do you wear their Anglican clothes and read their testament?
Because all men do evil, I among them. And I wish all men to do better, I among them.
Yes, blessed are the chicken-hearted. This will give you a place to sleep. It's expensive, and it's in shantytown, and it's not pleasant. Such are the customs of our city.
I shouldn't mind. Goodbye, John.
Goodbye, your old faker in Christ.
The same old John, 14 Cross Street.
14 Cross Street Textiles Company. 14 Cross Street Textile Company. 14 Cross Street Textile Company.
Not miles or oils or length of days, nor the cold doubt of midnight can hold us apart, for swifter than winds of the morning, the pathways of the heart.
14 Cross Street Textile Company. 14 Cross Street Textile Company.
Yes, they did work here. Absalom Kumalo and Matthew Kumalo, but they left us some months ago.
Sir, did they work well?
Why, I think so. I rather like Absalom, a good lad.
Thank you, sir. He's my son, you know. Could you tell me where they went?
They had a house address when they were here. They lived with Mrs. Mackay's, 77 23rd Avenue, Alexandra.
Thank you, sir.
77 23rd Avenue. Mrs. Mackay's 23rd Avenue.
How long ago, Mrs. Mackay's?
These many months.
Do you know where he is now?
Fear that you see in her eyes. It is fear.
No, I do not know.
Are you afraid of me?
No, I am not afraid.
But you tremble when I speak of him.
I do not know you. I don't know why you ask.
I am his father. I wish him well and you well.
His father? Then it would be better if you followed him no further.
Why?
See, they were friendly with a taxi driver named Benny, who lives near the stand in this same street at number 25.
Why should I look no further?
Lest you be hurt by it.
What did he do?
In the middle of the night, they brought things here on Fundisi, clothes and watches and money. They left in haste, I think. They were near to being discovered. Oh, follow him no further.
Labeni, at 25 on this street?
Yes.
A taxi driver known as Labeni. Taxi stand in 23rd Avenue. What you must find is always a number and a name. Though it sear the mind, say it over and over and over, a boding song, searing like flame. Be there, my one son, be well there.
I can tell you this much. They were picked up for something they'd done, and one of them went to jail for a while.
What had they done?
Oh, some wild trick like boys do.
Which one went to prison?
Absalom. I don't know why Matthew didn't go, but he got out of it somehow. And Absalom's out now. He's on parole, or that's what I heard.
Where would he be?
You could ask the parole officer at the government building. He might know.
Is it near?
4 or 5 miles.
Could I find it tonight?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll draw you a map. That might help.
What you must find is always a number and a name. In prison cells, they give you a number. Tag your clothes with it. Print your shame. Be there, my one son.
Uncle Stephen?
Yes, Alex.
The room is very small here and not clean.
Yes, it's the best they have.
I hope we won't live here.
No, Alex. You'll live in Doshini, in the country, in my house.
Is it like this there?
No, not at all like this. There are hills and valleys, and trees growing on the hills, and streams running in the valleys.
What will our house be like?
It's a little gray house.
Will there be grass in front of it?
Yes, and flowers growing in the grass.
Do you have a wife there?
Yes.
I don't like my mother. She hits me, and I hit her too, only she hits me harder.
Nobody will hit you in my house.
Tell me about the house. Why is it gray?
Because it has not been painted.
Is the water good when it comes out from the tap, or do you have to boil it?
There's no tap at all, boy. We get water from the spring. There's a tree that my son liked to climb. He built himself a place to sleep in it, like a nest. You will climb their tree.
Is the nest still there?
Yes, it's there.
I see. I'm thinking about it. What are you thinking, old man, among the broken boxes of Shantytown? What do you see, child with the shining eyes, among the broken hopes of Shantytown?
There's a little gray house in the one-street town, and the door stands open, and the steps run down. And you prop up the window with a stick on the sill, and you carry spring water from the bottom of the hill. And the white car of Bethlehem grows in the yard. I can't really describe it, but I'm trying hard. It's not much to tell about, it's not much to picture out, and the only thing special is it's home.
It's not much to
It's
sing
not
about.
much to. It's not much to sing about, it's not much to picture out. The only thing special is it's home. It's a long road, God knows, a long and turning iron road that leads to Nidoshini. How I came, God knows, by what ridges, streams, and valleys, and how we shall return is in God's keeping. Many bright-eyed days, many dark nights, we must ride on iron before I see that house again. There's a lamp in the room, and it lights the face of the one who waits there in her quiet place, where her hands always busy over needle and thread, or the fire in the kitchen to bake tomorrow's bread. And she always has love enough to take you in, and her house will rest you wherever you've been. It's not much to tell about, it's not much to picture out. And the only thing special is, it's home. It's not much to tell about, it's not much to picture out. And the only thing special is, it's home.
Who'll buy my juicy rutabagas? Who'll buy my yellow corn? Who'll buy asparagus or carrots or potatoes? Who wants my peppers and my ginger and tomatoes? The best you've bit into since you were born. If you want to make a supper dish fit for a king, look over what I offer. I offer everything. So buy my black-eyed peas. The Garden of Eden had nothing like these. You'll feel like flying like a bird on the wing. You'll stay up there like a kite on the string. They're satisfactory and they got a sting. So buy my asparagus, yellow corn, black-eyed peas, tomatoes, potatoes, beans, and rutabagas. Who will buy my oranges and melons? Who will buy my prickly pears? Who will pay shillings for my lemons and persimmons? Who wants apricots and nectarines and trimmings? The best you laid lip to the last 10 years. I haven't got a license, so I can undersell. I haven't got a license, so I treat you well. So buy my pure vowed honey. In the Garden of Eden, they never use money. You'll feel like flying like a bat out of hell. You'll own high heaven and a landing field as well. The apples of paradise, they always gel. So buy my oranges, prickly pears, apricots, nectarines, tangerines, apples, groundnuts, bananas. Buy my. Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Buy my. Oh my. Oh my.
I'll take them. I'll take them all. You're off the market.
Sold. Just one little technical problem here. If you don't mind, lady, you said you had no license? That's right, no license. Just Johannes' little wild honey, that's all. Officer, arrest that woman and bring her before the court. In the first place, what is a rutabaga? It's a vegetable, your lordship. You don't give that impression. What impression do I give, your lordship? Are you trying to corrupt this court? Yes, sir. 20 years, hard.
Your lordship, your wig is dirty, your logic is full of bullets, and your monocle don't fit you.
I find you in contempt. Hick, damn, that whiskey and soda.
What's the trouble, your monocle?
Young man, did you address me as your monocle?
Yes, your monocle.
40 years hard.
You got a little mixed here. Your whiskey and soda. You're supposed to be trying this young lady.
That's right. Make a note. That young man's right. Hick, put in that hick. That was a British hick. Put it in.
Yes, sir.
Where's the persecution? Young man, will you persecute this young lady?
I'd love to, your rutabaga. When do I begin?
Woman, have you got anything to say? I throw myself on the mercy of this court. I'm the court, see? Throw yourself on me, not him.
I demand justice.
Move that woman out of your pocket, and somebody scrape the court stenographer from the judge's vest. Young man, you got justice. We all got justice. Justice is when the black man digs and the white man carries the briefcase. Justice is when the black woman cooks and the white woman has breakfast in bed. If you want anything extra, you pay for it.
Your Honor, would you accept a little money?
What? Me, sir? A judge, sir? Take money, sir? Yes, sir. All right. Scrape her off your vest, Johannes, and get out of here, all of you.
We'll be with you in a minute. Wait for us.
Where are we gonna wait?
Outside.
Matthew!
Outside, I said. Wake up, Absalom. Now, to begin with, how do we get in?
You don't have to break into a house, I tell you. He never locks his door, day or night.
Why not?
I don't know. He's got some theory. He says if anybody wants what I've got, he can come in and take it.
Then why would we need a gun when we go there? Because nobody ever knows when he's going to need a gun. And you've got a gun, and we might as well have it along.
But Johannes says there won't be anybody there. And the white man went for a trip somewhere, and the servant gets home late every night.
That's the way we think it's going to be. But if somebody happens to come in, we don't want to take any chances.
Matthew!
We'll be right with you, pretty. So don't come without it. We might need it. What do you say?
I think it's better without the gun.
Well, I don't see. And if you don't bring it, you're not in on this at all. Look, I'm going to get to those new gold fields, and I'm going on my own. Now, if you want to help us raise the money to get there, you're in. You can come along. But if you're scared to carry that cheap revolver of yours, you're no use to us. So bring it or stay home.
Matthew!
We'll get rid of the girls. Think it over, country boy.
Absalom?
Irina? What do you want?
I came to tell you something.
Yes?
Something about the parole officer.
What happened?
He came to the cabin asking for you, and I lied. I had to lie. I told him you were at work and things were going well. But he'll be at the factory tomorrow, and if you're not there...
I don't think I'll be there.
What will happen to you, Absalom?
I won't be there. I won't be anywhere where he can find me, ever again.
What will happen to us, you and me?
We'll live in a better place than Shanty Town.
When?
When I come back.
Are you going away?
Yes, but not from you. To get something for you and me. Look, Irina, suppose I went home with you and went to work tomorrow. What kind of life would we have?
Like others?
Yes, like others. Shantytown, crawling with boarders and bugs and children. You'd have your baby, and I'd keep on at the factory, and you have another baby, and we live in the same shack and pay our taxes and our rent, and pretty soon we're sleeping 4 in a room, 10 in a room. Filth. Nothing, and that's our fun. That's our life forever. That's what we get, isn't it?
I'll keep our place clean, Absalom.
Nobody can keep those places clean, and I can't stand it. I don't want it that way. I love you, Irina. I want you to have something better than that.
What could we have?
I've never been able to bring you a gift, Irina. We've always had not quite enough to live on. Even the way we live. I want to come back with enough so we can set up a little shop and be free of work gangs and keep our own house.
Where could you get money for this?
In the new gold fields. There's a new rich strike, Irina. If you go there as a free man, not in a labor gang, you can sometimes get ahead and save something.
I'm afraid for you. Come home with me.
Wait for me, Irina. I'll come home when I have something, when I am something.
Where will you get money to go to the mines?
We'll get it.
You won't steal again?
We'll get it.
Oh, Absalom. Absalom, if you were caught once more, they could keep you from me a whole lifetime. Come home with me, Absalom. Come home with me.
Oh, God damn this world. Yes, I'll come with you.
Where are you going, Absalom? It's his cook. It's his little cookie.
I'm out of it.
She gives the orders, huh? You could be rich, you know.
I'm on parole. You're not.
One more black boy leaves in a gold field, they'll never locate you.
But even if we make money in the gold fields, we still have to come back here, and they'll get me.
Why would they? You'll change your name, you'll be wearing new clothes, you'll have cash in your pocket, you can walk up and buy a shack of your own. There won't be any Absalom Kumalo. There'll be a new man. A man, not somebody's dumb ox.
He's right, Irina. Wait for me. It'll take a little time, but wait for me.
Please.
Go now, Irina. I'll be back.
Oh, Absalom.
Go, Irina.
Yes, I'll go.
That's more like it.
You know what I heard? I heard there's sometimes loose gold you can pan out the river if you get there before the land's all fenced.
Some places you can take just a kitchen pan and wash the dirt around it, and there's gold at the bottom.
It's that way beyond Rigval Clove.
And then by God, we'll live like men. Johannes, you bring along that machinery you talked about?
I've got it where I picked it up quick.
Then pick it up and pick up your feet. This is the best time.
Irina.
Come in, sir.
Thank you, Irina. This is the Reverend Stephen Kumalo, Irina, Absalom's father. I have told him about you, and he wishes to see you and to see Absalom. We'll go on from here to the factory. Absalom's there, of course.
No, sir.
But when I was here 2 days ago...
Yes, sir, I lied to you.
Where is he?
I do not know. He's gone. I don't know where.
This is another one of my failures, then. They're like water. They live together, they get a child, they engage to marry, and the next day, both have forgotten.
Could I be alone with her a minute?
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Irina?
Yes, Umfandisi.
Perhaps my son never spoke of me to you. We love him very much. His mother and I have come to Johannesburg thinking I might find him. Would you help me to find him?
Yes, Umfandisi.
He has lived here with you for some time?
Yes.
You were not married in church?
No, Umfandisi.
And you are to have a child?
Yes.
Why has he left you?
I do not know.
You distrust me?
No, Umfandisi.
Do you have a family?
I have no one.
Well, you lived somewhere before you met Absalom.
I lived in Sophia Town.
Alone?
Nobody lives alone in Sophia Town.
You lived with your first husband?
Yes, 15 years.
How many have there been?
3.
3, and now you will seek a 4th.
No, I will wait for Absalom.
I think you would do anything. You will go to anyone. I am an old man, Absalom's father, but you will come to me if I asked you anything.
No, I would not.
You think Umfundasi is not a man? What if I desired you with my whole body? What if I desire you now?
You?
Yes, I.
It would not be right.
Was it right before with the others?
No, it was not right.
Then why would you not be willing with me?
I do not know.
Then you would be willing. Would you be willing?
No, I do not know.
Speak, tell me.
I could be willing.
Yes, you are a woman who would go to anyone.
Why did you come here? How would I know what you think or what you want? I don't know what power you have or what you will do. I'm alone here. I am to have a child, and Absalom is gone. And I love him. I want only Absalom. He brought me only trouble, but I love him.
Yes, I was wrong. I should not have put you to such a test. Will you forgive me? We all do what we must do, not what we wish, but what we can. Do you forgive me?
Yes, Umfandisi.
I will go now, Irina, but I will come again. I'm searching for my son. If I find him, I will come and tell you. My address is on this paper. If he comes back to you, please let me know.
Yes, Umfandisi. Since you bring all the worst to me, near one, sad one. There's trouble in your coming, trouble in your laughter. There's trouble in your going, and trouble after. Since you were near to me, lost one, mad one, no other is dear to me, loved one, bad one. I loved your dark silence, love your bright laughter. I love the trouble you bring me, the crying after. Trouble man, since you've been gone, somehow I manage, living here alone. All day long you don't catch me weeping, but oh, God help me when it comes time for sleeping, here alone. Trouble man, walking out there, maybe in a strange place, God knows where. maybe in a strange town, hurrying and walking. Listen to my blood and my bones here talking. Listen to the blood in my hands and feet, finding you out on a far, strange street. Finding the footprints out where you ran, asking, aren't you coming home, trouble man? Trouble man, trouble man, trouble man, trouble man. Saying all day long you don't catch me weeping. But oh, God help me when it comes time for sleeping, when it comes time for sleeping here alone. Trouble man, trouble man.
What do you want?
We want money and clothes.
It's Johannes. I know you. You cannot do such a thing.
Do you want to die?
Master, master.
Quick, get out.
Mr. Jarvis, Mr. Jarvis.
Yes, Elon?
I could come later if I disturb you.
No, come in.
I have seen the police. They have arrested Pafuri, the one who used to work in your son's house, and he had been identified.
By whom?
By the servant who was struck.
I think I remember the name. Pafuri. Johannes Pafuri, yes. He was the houseboy here. I suppose he could be guilty, not that it would help to fix the guilt. Our son is dead. Arthur is dead, and punishment will not bring him back.
The boy denies being involved, but he looks very guilty.
One thing I hope the police will remember, no man is to be punished unless guilty.
They'll make very certain before the act, Mr. Jarvis. They assured me of that.
I differed sharply with my son concerning our policy toward the blacks, but in this I won what he would have wanted, that the guilty feel the penalty, no man else. I had quarreled with my son, I suppose you know that. I wish we had a chance to patch up that quarrel.
I'm sure it wasn't serious.
Yes, it was serious. Over black man equality, and the irony of it, that an advocate of black equality should have been killed by a black man. There is only one course with them, a strong hand and a firm policy. They understand nothing but discipline, respect nothing else.
They are good and bad among them.
Are there? At this moment, I wonder.
We can know them only by their actions. There was a man who came into this house with a pistol, came with intent to steal, and ended by committing murder. Let us find this one man and see that he is punished. Let us not blame the whole race.
You think he will be found?
He will be found.
May he suffer as we suffer, as my wife suffers now.
There's something I want to ask you, Mr. Jarvis. If you'd rather not stay in this house.
I want to stay here. This is where he worked. He was here when he heard the cry from the kitchen and ran to help.
He will be a great loss to us, to our country, and to me personally. As a parole officer, well, many times I'd have given up in despair except for him.
And yet they killed him. What would he have said about a crime like this?
He would have said, they live in such poverty and fear. They see no way out of their poverty or their fear, and they grow desperate.
Yes, it sounds like him.
You wish to be here alone?
Yes, I wish to be here alone.
These streets are full of evil. I'm afraid.
It's all right. Take my arm. This is a shabby neighborhood.
Hush. Good evening, officer.
It is fear. It is fear.
It is fear.
It is fear. Who can enjoy the lovely land, the 70 years, the sun that pours down on the earth, when there's fear in the heart? Who can walk quietly in the dusk, and when behind the dusk there are whispers and reckless hands?
Yes, we fear them, for they are many, and we are few.
Who can be content when he dares not raise his voice?
It is fear.
For the fear of the whip to guard the loss of his house?
It is fear.
For fear of the mines and the prison and the cells from which there is no return? Yes, we fear them, though we are many and they are few.
Who can lie peacefully abed when the dark without window is troubled by those who hate you for what you are and what you do?
But you think you know what it is to fear or to hate? What is there you have not taken from us except hate and fear? Yes, we fear them, though we are many and they are few.
Men are not safe in the streets, not safe in their houses.
It is fear.
There are brutal murders.
It is fear.
Robberies.
It is fear.
Tonight again, a man lies dead.
Yes, it is fear.
Yes, it is fear.
The fear of the few for the many.
Fear of the few for the many.
It is fear.
It is fear.
It is fear.
It is fear.
Fear of the few for the many. Fear of the many for the few.
I came as soon as I could, sir. You say my son is here? Absalom is here?
Yes.
Why is he here?
It's not proved, of course, but the charge is that he killed Arthur Jarvis.
He killed?
It could not be worse. For me, or you, or him. Forgive me. What I feel is nothing. I know that. Only it's my life's work to help, and this may destroy it all.
Absalom is accused of killing Arthur Jarvis?
Remember, it's not proved about Absalom, and I don't believe it. It cannot be true.
Let me speak to Absalom. My child, my child.
My father.
At last, I have found you.
Yes, my father.
I have searched in every place for you, and I find you here. Why have they charged you with this terrible crime? Answer me, my child.
You should rise when your father speaks to you, Absalom.
Yes, sir. Oh, my father, my father.
My son, if I had only come sooner. But we shall make it all well yet, Absalom, for the courts are just, and when they have found that you did not kill it, will be only a light punishment. And when it ends, you will come back to Nidoshini and be content in our quietness, for you were a boy without guile and without anger, at home where there are hills and trees, not in these streets where men must live by their wits and without scruple. The hills are as beautiful as ever, Absalom. You will be happy there again.
My father.
Yes? Yes?
I cannot say it.
I know you so well, Absalom, that I know you could not be guilty of this crime, and so you need not fear what the judge will say. You will live again at Nidoshini.
I shall never come home.
Why, my son?
Because I am guilty.
Of what, my son?
I killed the white man.
But this cannot be true. He was shot in his house.
Yes.
There are 3 men accused in this murder, Absalom. Do you try to shield someone?
No, sir. There were 3 of us, Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Porphyry and I. It was Johannes who struck the servant, but it was I who carried the revolver, and
you killed this man?
I did not mean to kill him. We thought he would not be there. Then suddenly he was there, and I was frightened, and...
It is time for us to go.
My son, I stand here and see you, and a kind of dizziness has come over me, so that I am not sure what is real, or whether this is a true place or in a dream. Do you tell me, you, my son Absalom, that you had killed a man?
Yes, my father, it is true.
I'm sorry, Alphonse. It is time for you to go.
May I come again?
Yes, Alphonse. At certain hours on certain days. The hours are ended for this day.
Absalom.
Yes, my father?
Stay well, my child.
Go well, my father.
Uncle Stephen?
Yes, Alex.
Is it very late?
Yes, very late.
But you're not asleep.
No, I must write a letter.
Do you know the best thing that ever happened to me?
No.
These shoes you bought me with the brass toes and the brass heels, would it be all right if I keep them in bed with me?
If they're clean.
I clean them on the quilt. I can see my face in the brass. I can walk all day to Nadashini wearing these shoes.
Please, Alex, lie and sleep, or be silent. This is a hard letter.
Who do you write to, Uncle Stephen?
I write to my wife in Doshini, to the mother at home. Oh, Tixo, Tixo. Oh, God of all lost people and of those who go toward death, tell me what to say to her. How can I say this to the mother? Oh, my Tixo, that he has done this thing. Why I cannot bring him home, that he will perhaps never come home.
Uncle Stephen, who will not come home?
My son Absalom.
But Uncle Stephen, you are on fungicide and you can ask God to help you. He will surely help you.
I don't know, Alex.
Before Lord God made the sea and the land,
He held all the stars in the palm of his hand,
and they ran through his fingers like grains of sand.
and one little star fell along.
So the Lord God hunted through the wide night air
For the little dark star on the wind down there.
and he stated and promised he'd take special care.
So it wouldn't get lost again. Now a man don't mind if the stars grow dim,
and the clouds blow over and darken it.
so long as the Lord God's watching over them.
Keeping track how it all goes on.
Little stars, big stars,
blowing through us,
and we're lost out here in the stars.
Have you fished for a fixed star with the lines of its light? Have you dipped the moon from the sea with the cup of night? Have you caught the rings full in a pool and shut in? Go hunt the wild justice down to talk with men. Have you plotted the high pulse course of a bronze flying
or the sound of an old man dying, or the covered labyrinth of why you love her you love, or if one love you, why your love is true, only for a little then, tease the wild justice down to dwell with men. When the first judge sat in his place, and the murderer held his breath, with fear of death in his face, fear of death for death, and all that could be said, for and against was said. As the books were bound, and two, not none, were dead. Was justice caught in the net? Not yet. No, not caught yet. Not yet. No, tuck first at a fixed star, on the lines of its light. Seek the moon up out of the sea, with the black thing of night. Snare first the rain full in a pool, and close it in. The wild justice is not found of men.
When you go before a judge, you have to have a lawyer. Now a lawyer's paid to lie and make it sound like the truth. I'm getting a good lawyer, a white man's lawyer, and he'll do all he can for all three. There's no use trying to defend one alone. They all have to stick together in this. If they do that, there's a good chance, because the fact is there's not much evidence against them.
There's an identification by the servant.
Well, when our lawyer gets through with that, maybe not. You see, the only one the servant says he identified is Johannes Pafuri. He says he knew him because of his eyes. He's got a peculiar twitch over his eye, and the servant could see his eyes even with the mask on. So he says he's sure it was Johannes. On the other hand, suppose it was somebody else with a twitch over his eye. With the rest of his face covered, would be hard to be sure it was Johannes, wouldn't it? Well, the lawyer will bring that up, and that will shake the identification. And there's no other evidence against them, positively none.
Except that they were there. They will have to say that they were there.
Why?
Because it is the truth.
The truth? Why would they tell the truth in the court? Do they want to get themselves hanged? No, if they all say they know nothing about it, they'll get off, as sure as God's got whiskers.
But in a court, there is a plea, guilty or not guilty.
Yes, they'll plead not guilty. Everybody does.
But Absalom says he will plead guilty.
Good God, why?
Because he is guilty.
Look, Stefan, if they don't all tell the same story, anything can happen to them. Surely you see that. Let them prove the boys guilty if they can. It's not up to the defense to hand them their case on a platter.
I haven't told Absalom what to say, but he says he will not lie again, that he's done his last evil, and from now on he won't tell a lie or do any wrong. And so he will tell them that he was there and that he shot Arthur Jarvis.
Will he tell them Matthew was there and Johannes?
Yes.
Well, that changes everything. You better fix that, brother, and fix it fast. Or I give you my word, we'll fix Absalom. Talk to him, brother.
I have. He will plead guilty.
A man who pleads guilty to murder receives the punishment of the first degree, and that's hanging by your neck and with a sack over your head. They don't fool about that.
He has already made a confession. He has admitted the whole charge.
He can deny that. He can say he was out of his mind, anything.
And Matthew and Johannes will plead not guilty?
Of course they will. That's part of the game. This is what happens in the court, Stefan. The defendant may be guilty as hell, but he goes in and pleads not guilty, and his lawyer tries to make the evidence look as if he's not guilty. The prosecution may be weak as hell, but it goes in and tries to make things look as if the defendant's guilty as a hyena. Each one tries to follow up the witnesses on the other side and make his own witnesses look good. If the defense piles up the most points, why, fine. The old sheep face of a judge says he's not guilty. If the prosecution piles up the most points, why old sheep face says hang him up. It's a game. Truth has nothing to do with it. Now, if Absalom pleads guilty, it will make it look bad for all three. But don't let him do it, brother, because I'm going to get Matthew out of this. And anything Absalom says is going to be used against him, by me if necessary. So talk to him, Stephen. Talk to him as you never talked to anybody before. He doesn't want to die, and you don't want him to die. If you want him to live, tell him to plead not guilty.
Or speak truth and die. And if this is so, what can I say to my son? Oh, Tixo, help me. Often when he was young, I have come to him and said, speak truly, evade nothing. What you have done, let it be on your head. And he heeded me not at all. Like rain, he ran through my hands, concealing as a boy will, taking what was not his, evading commands. For he seemed to hear none of my words. Turning, shifting, he ran through a tangle of nights and days, till he was lost to my sight, and ran far into evil and evil ways, and he was stricken and struck back, and he loved, and he was desperate with love and fear and anger, and at last he came to this. O God of the humble, tell no more untruth. I shall keep my father's ways and remember them. And can I go to him now and say, my son, take care, tell no truth in this court, lest it go ill with you here. Keep to the rules, beware. And yea, if I say again, he shall not profit a man, if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul. I shall lose Absalom then. I must find some other way, some other hope. My son did not mean to kill his son, did not mean to kill. Oh, Tixo, help me. To whom can I appeal? Oh, Tixo, help me. Where can I turn now? Oh, Tixo, help me.
Yes? Did you knock?
I'm sorry, sir. I expected a servant to answer.
There are no servants here today, Fundisi. Did you wish to see one of them?
No, Fundisi. I wish to see you.
Yes?
Forgive me, Numasana.
Are you ill, Fundisi?
Forgive me. I shall recover.
Do you wish water or food, perhaps? Are you hungry?
Thank you, sir. I am sorry. I shall go now.
No, but you said you wished to see me.
Yes, sir.
Well, then?
I have no words to say it.
You are in fear of me. I do not know why.
I cannot tell it, Namsana.
I wish to help whenever I can. Is it so heavy a thing?
It is the heaviest thing of all my years.
You need not be afraid. I try to be just.
Namsana, this thing that is the heaviest thing of all my years, it is also the heaviest thing of all your years.
You can mean only one thing, but I still do not understand.
It was my son that killed your son.
Why did you come?
There were 3 who went to rob the house of Namfasana. 2 of them have lied and said they were not there. My son has told the truth, that he was there, and he fired the revolver that killed your son. He will die for this truth-telling, the lawyer thinks.
Not for his truth-telling.
Namsana, could you intercede for him?
One does not seek to influence a court.
He did not mean to kill, and he tells truth. Is there not a core of good in him who tells truth?
My son left his doors always open. He trusted his fellow men, and for this your son killed him.
He never meant to kill, but the revolver was in his hand, and he heard someone coming and was frightened.
Have you thought what it is for me that my son is dead?
I have tried. I have thought of my son.
Have you thought what it is for his mother? His mother will die of this. It is in her face.
I know. I can see the face of my son's mother. Forgive me, Namsana. I know what this is to you. But if you were only to live, even shut up, even far from us.
I try to be just. I know what it is to lose a son. But I say again, one does not try to influence a court. And even if the judge were merciful, mercy can be pitiless. If your son went free, 10,000 others might be misled into the death he escaped. Better than one be punished where punishment is deserved, and the 10,000 be warned.
I think he did not mean evil, Nasana, and to die when he is loved.
I know about death.
If I could take him back to his house, from Nasana, away from Johannesburg. He grew up in Doshini, among the hills. There was no evil in him then. From our house, we could see up through the clove to your great house. You were kind to the folk who worked the little farms. Be kind again. A terrible thing has befallen my people. We're lost. Not many have found their way to the Christ. And those who have not are lost. My son was lost. This would not have happened if there were not the gold mines and the great city your people have built, and the little hope we have.
There are two races in South Africa. One is capable of mastery and self-control. The other is not. One is born to govern, the other to be governed. One is capable of culture and the arts of civilization. The other is not. The difference between us is greater than that I live on a hill and you live in the valley. If my son had killed your son, I would not have come to you for mercy, nor to the judge. Whether it were my son or yours, I would have said, let him answer the law.
You could save him.
You have neither heard nor understood me. There is only a handful of whites in South Africa to control the great tide of blacks, and the blacks have no control of their own. They have no mind to it, and no mind for it. It's their way to run and evade and lie and strike down in the dark. Those who will not keep order must be kept in order. Those who lift their hands to kill must know that the penalty for death is death.
Nasana, I read my testament carefully. Jesus has not said this.
No, he has not. But where there is government is true. Have you more to say to me?
No, Nasana.
Be gone. Stay well, O keeper of my love. Go well throughout all your days. Your star be my luckiest star above, your ways the luckiest ways. Since unto you my one love is given, and since with you it will remain. Though you bring fear of hell, despair of heaven, stay well, come well to my door again.
Irina?
Yes?
The trial will begin tomorrow. Do you wish to be there?
I see him?
Yes, all those in the court will see him.
Then I wish to go. Umfundisi, is anything sure?
Nothing is sure. He will be tried. It's not known what will come out of it.
He might go free?
I wish I could say yes. He says he will plead guilty. He says he will speak the truth. If he does, I think he will stay in the prison for a long time.
For a long time?
For a very long time.
So that I will never see him?
It may be many years.
Many years.
Would you wait for him if it were so long?
Yes, Umfundisi, I would wait.
He has asked me, would you wish to marry him in the prison so that your child will have his name?
Yes.
He wishes it.
Umfundisi.
Yes?
Will they kill him?
It's not known yet.
I want him to live. I want him to come back to me.
Even if it's many years?
Yes.
And you will wait?
Yes.
Even if he does not come back at all?
I will still wait.
And when the desire is on you?
I desire only him.
I will come tomorrow for you, and I will tell him that you wish the marriage. Stay well, Irina.
Go well, my father.
When you have fled from me, my love, my own, I've waited quietly here alone. Some come back at midnight, or come back at dawn. Now that you're absent, I weep you gone. Go well, though wild the road and far. Stay well through darkening days. Your star be still my luckiest star. Your ways the luckiest ways. Though into storm your lone bark be driven, though my eyes ache for you in vain, though you bring fear at dawn, despair at even, stay well, come well to my door again.
Johannes, you have been identified as one of the 3 masked men who entered the kitchen of Arthur Jarvis on October 8th, between 11 and 12. Were you there at that time?
No, sir.
Where were you?
At Mrs. Ndala's house in N Street.
How do you know you were there at 11?
Because we had been dancing at a place in High Street till nearly 11, and at 11 we were at Miss Ndala's.
Who else was there?
Matthew Kumalo was there, and the girls Linda and Rose.
The witness is excused. Will Matthew Kumalo take the stand? Matthew Kumalo, you are accused of being one of 3 masked men who entered the kitchen of Arthur Jarvis on October 8th, between 11 and 12. Were you there at that time?
No, sir.
Where were you?
At Mrs. Nandella's in the N Street.
Are you sure of the time?
Yes, sir. We had been dancing at the place in High Street, and when we came to Mrs. Nandella's, she said, "You are late, but come in," and we saw that it was near 11.
Do you know Absalom Kumalo?
Yes, sir. He is the son of my father's brother.
Was he with you on this evening?
No, sir.
Do you know where he was?
No, sir.
The witness is excused for the moment. Your Honor, I am about to call the 3rd defendant, Absalom Kumalo. Before I do so, I wish to explain that his plea of guilty is his own choice, and that I have not attempted to influence him in any way.
I understand, sir. You may proceed.
Absalom Kumalo, will take the stand. Absalom Kumalo, you are accused of being one of 3 masked men who entered the kitchen of Arthur Jarvis on October 8th, between 11 and 12 in the evening. Were you there at that time?
Yes, sir.
Who were the 2 masked men with you?
Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Perfieri.
What was your purpose in going there?
To steal something from the house.
Why did you choose this day?
Because Johannes and the house would be empty at that time.
The same Johannes Perfieri here?
Yes, sir.
When did you 3 go to this house?
It was after 11 at night.
Did you go there disguised?
We tied handkerchiefs over our mouths.
And then?
We went into the kitchen and there was a servant there.
This man?
Yes, that is the man.
Tell the court what happened then.
This man was afraid. He saw my revolver. He said, "What do you want?" Johannes said, "We want money and clothes." This man said, "You cannot do such a thing." Johannes said, "Do you want to die?" Then this man called out, "Master, master," and Johannes struck him over the head with the iron bar.
Did he call again?
He made no sound.
What did you do?
No, we were silent and listened.
Where was your revolver?
In my hand.
And then?
Then a white man came into the doorway.
And then?
I was frightened. I fired the revolver.
And then?
The white man fell.
And then?
Matthew said, "We must go," so we all went quickly.
Where did you go?
I wandered about. I wanted to find a place to hide.
I have a question to ask, Mr. Burton.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why did you carry a revolver?
It was to frighten the servant of the house.
Where did you get this revolver?
I bought it from a man.
Was this revolver loaded when you brought it?
It had 2 bullets in it.
How many bullets were in it when you went to this house?
1.
What happened to the other?
I took the revolver out into the hills and fired it.
What did you fire it at?
I fired it at a tree.
Did you hit this tree?
Yes, I hit it.
Then you thought, now I can fire this revolver?
Yes, that is so.
And when Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Pufri say that they were not with you at the time of the murder, were they lying?
Yes, they were lying.
Do you know where they went after the crime?
No, I don't know.
Where did you go?
I went to a plantation and buried the revolver.
And what did you do next?
I prayed there.
What did you pray there?
I prayed for forgiveness.
How did the police find out?
Johannes Pufri brought them to where I was.
And what did you tell them?
I told them it was not Johannes who had killed the white man. It was myself.
And how was the revolver found?
No, I told the police where to find it.
And every word you have said is true?
Every word is true.
There is no lie in it?
There is no lie in it, for I said to myself, I shall not lie any more, all the rest of my days, nor do anything more that is evil.
In fact, you repented.
Yes, I repented.
Because you were in trouble?
Yes, because I was in trouble.
Did you have any other reason for repenting?
No, I had no other reason.
I have no further questions, Mr. Burton.
The witness is dismissed.
The evidence in this case is, in many ways, inconclusive, unsatisfactory, and fragmentary. Some of the witnesses are or could be interested parties. Some of the accused appear to have testified in collusion with each other or other witnesses. There are many points not clear, some of which perhaps will now never be clear. It seems quite possible that Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Pufri are guilty with Absalom Kumalo of the murder of Arthur Jarvis. It was the identification of Pufri by the servant who was struck that led Pufri's arrest. It was the arrest of Pufri that led the police to arrest Absalom and later Matthew. The alibis offered by Matthew and Johannes were obviously doubtful. No reason has come to light why Absalom should involved in the robbery and murder 2 men who were not with him in the time and not guilty. And yet, after long and thoughtful consideration, my assessors and I have come to the conclusion that the guilt of Matthew and Johannes is not sufficiently established. There remains the case against Absalom Kumalo. Except for his plea and his confession, the case against him remains substantially that against Johannes and Matthew. His guilt is not established in the testimony alone, but the testimony taken together with this confession leads us to inescapably to the conclusion that he is guilty. No reason has been offered why he should confess to a deed he did not commit, and his own insistence that he had no intention to kill operates to validate the confession itself. Matthew Kumalo and Johannes Pufri, you are discharged and may step down. Absalom Kumalo, you have anything to say before I pronounce the sentence?
I have only this to say, that I killed this man, but I did not mean to kill him, only I was afraid.
Absalom Kumalo, I sentence you to be returned to custody and to be hanged by the neck until you are dead, and may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
To live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony, wilt thou obey him and serve him, love, honor, and keep him, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him, so long as you both shall live?
I will. Cried the unborn son, inheritor of our fear. Let him not laugh too gladly in the water of the Clove, nor stand too silent when the setting sun makes a veldt red with fire.
And now your man and wife, my son and my daughter, Irina will come with me in Doshini, Absalom.
I am glad, my father.
We shall care for a child as if he were our own.
I thank you, my father.
Will you wish to say goodbye to Irina?
There is no way to say goodbye. My father, I must go to Pretoria.
There will be an appeal.
But it will not help. I am afraid. I am afraid of the hanging.
Be of courage, my son.
It is no help to be of courage. Oh, Tixo, Tixo, I am afraid of the rope and the hanging.
You must go now.
Where I go, there will be no wife or child or father or mother. There is no food taken or given, and no marriage where I go. Oh, Tixo, Tixo.
Big Mole was a digger of the fastest kind. He'd dig in the earth like you think in your mind. When Big Mole came to the side of a hill, instead of going over, he started to drill. He promised his mother a well in the town, and he brought boiling water from 1,000 feet down. Down, 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 down. 3 mile, 4 mile, 5 mile down. You can go through rock, you can go through coal. Whenever you come to an oversized hole, down at the bottom is Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole. When Mole was younger, he showed him a mine, and he said, I like the idea you're fine. Let me have that hose, let me have that drill. If they had to shut it off, he'd be boring still. And down at the bottom, he chunked all around, till he chunked out a city 6 miles in the ground. Down, 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 down. 3 mile, 4 mile, 5 mile down. You can bet your pants, you can bet your soul. Whenever you come to a man-sized hole, down at the bottom is Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole. Big Mole had a girl who was small and sweet. He promised her diamonds for her hands and feet. He dug so deep and dug so well, he broke right into the ceiling of hell. And he looked the old devil bang in the eye, and he said, I'm not coming back here until I die. Down, 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 down. 3 mile, 4 mile, 5 mile down. You can go through rock, you can go through coal. Whenever you come to a sure enough hole, down at the bottom is Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole, Big Black Mole.
Hi there.
Hi.
You know, there's one thing I have to say for your voice. It's loud. It reminds me of Jericho.
Jericho?
Yes, the man that knocked the town over with music.
It was Joshua that broke the walls of the city with music. Jericho was the name of the city he destroyed.
How do you know that?
My uncle read it to me out of the Old Testament.
Well, don't sing as loud as you can around here, or some of these walls might go down.
I'll be very careful, sir.
I'm waiting for my grandfather now. We live up there in the hills.
I know. I've seen you riding around up there on a bicycle.
Sometimes I ride on a bicycle, sometimes a horse. I can fall off both just fine. What have you got there?
A digging machine.
Does it work?
Not much. I made it myself.
What's your name?
Alex.
Mine's Edward. I guess your uncle's the Umfundisi here.
Yes, he is.
I know a lot of Zulu words. My father taught them to me. Ngeli is English.
That's right.
What's the word for water?
Amanzi.
And how do you say to die?
Siyafa.
Oh, then the young Ngeli Siyafa for Amanzi. Is that right?
You mean the English boy is dying for water?
I am too.
Only I'd rather have milk out of the fridge.
The fridge?
You know, the refrigerator.
My uncle doesn't have one.
How do you keep the milk cold?
We have no milk. Nobody has milk in Nodishini.
No milk?
No. Can I get you some water though?
Never mind. No milk. You know, you got a real idea here. If you had something heavy on that string, and it had a point on it, and it kept dropping on the ground, it would really dig.
Ooh, like a nail?
We're going now, Edward.
Yes, grandfather.
The car's at the market.
I have to go.
Goodbye, Alex.
Goodbye, Edward.
Edward, when you are a man, you will live your own life. You will live as you please to live. But while you live with me, never let me see this again.
You mean talking with this boy?
I mean that.
But I like him. He's bright and he's nice.
There are not many rules in my house. I am lax in many ways, and not easily angered. I have lost so much that I don't know why I go on living, or what's worth saving. I don't know anymore why any man should do his task or work for gain or love his child. I don't know why any child should obey, or whether good will come out of it or evil. But I do know this. There are some things that I cannot bear to look on.
I will first say the hardest thing I have to say. I am resigning from my pastorate at Adoshini. I shall be your infancy no more. It had been my hope to end my years here, but I cannot now.
Aren't we going, grandfather?
We'll wait a moment.
My son Absalom will die tomorrow morning on the scaffold for a murder to which he confessed, and of which he was guilty. You all know of this. The man he killed was known to you too. He was Arthur Jarvis. He was born in the hills above our little town. There was a brightness upon him even as a child. As a man, he was a friend of our race, a friend of all men, a man all men could be proud of. And my son killed him. And the mother of Arthur Jarvis is dead of grief for her son. My people, if I stay here now, I become a hindrance to you, and not a help. I must go.
You cannot go, Mfundisi. You cannot go. No, Mfundisi.
This is a poor village, Nadoshini, and it grows poorer. In the past, when our little church was in desperate need, we have sometimes turned to Arthur Jarvis, and he has helped us. He will not help here again, and no one will help you while I remain here, for the man who slew him was my son. I must go for still another reason, my dear people. When I began to serve my God and church, I had a sure faith that the God of our world ordered things well for men. I had a sure faith that though there was good and evil, I knew which was good, and God knew it, and that men were better in their hearts for choosing good and not evil. Something has shaken this in me. I am not sure of my faith. I'm not lost. I am not sure now. I'm not sure that we are not all lost, and the leader should not be lost. He should know the way, and so I resign my place.
Mfundisi, if you have lost your faith, I too have lost my faith.
Yes.
Where does a man go, and what does he do when his faith is gone?
I don't know.
Oh, Stefan, you have always helped me. Please stay.
If I keep my place and this black thing has happened to my son, and they said, little by little, the few who still worship here will shrink away. The rusty roof will leak more, the floor will break till there is none, the windows will go. They will be thrown at and broken and will go. And the unpainted sides of this chapel I have loved will stand empty, roofless, and I shall live in despair beside it, knowing that I have done this thing to you and to my church by remaining.
Lord of the heart, look down upon our earthly pilgrimage. Look down upon us where we walk, from bright dawn to old age. Give light not shed by any sun.
Lord of the heart. Not read on any page. Lord of the heart. A bird of passage out of the night flies in at a lighted door, flies through and on in its darkened flight, and then is seen no more. This is the life of men on earth. Out of darkness we come at birth, into a lamplit room, and then
4 o'clock, it will soon be 4.
Yes, Irina?
She has fallen asleep. She meant to sit and watch with you at this hour, and she has been awake till only now. But now she sleeps.
We won't wake her, Irina. If she sleeps and the hour goes past, then at least it will be past.
Even in her sleep, she reaches for my hand.
Sit beside her, Irina, if you can.
Yes, I can.
My daughter, I'm glad he found you and not some other.
I'm glad he found me, my father.
4 o'clock, it will soon be 4.
Why do they choose the morning? The morning when men sleep sound?
4 o'clock, it will soon be 4.
If they would kill me instead, Absalom will make a good man, and he will never be. He is waiting now. Sleep, oh mother, sleep sound. Soon Absalom will sleep. Yes.
I hope you will forgive me for coming at this hour, Mfundisi.
Why are you here?
May I come in?
You wish to come into my house?
Yes.
Come in, sir.
I stood outside your church yesterday and heard what you said to your people and what they said to you. I want you to know that I will help you with the roof and with the painting and whatever must be done. I will do whatever my son would have done.
I thank you, sir. The church will thank you.
Whatever you need.
Mr. Jarvis, it's hard for me to think of the church or of in a quarter of an hour my son is to die.
I know. I couldn't sleep thinking of it.
I think this does not touch you.
No, yes it does.
I don't know how. I think it might be better if I sat here alone.
I know my presence pains you. I know I am the last man in the world you wish to see. And yet, may I stay for a moment?
If you wish.
Stephen Kumalo, my wife is dead. My son is dead. I live in a house with a child who knows me only as an old man. I have thought many times I would be better dead. I thought myself alone in this desolation that used to be my home. But when I heard you yesterday, I knew that your grief and mine were the same. I know now that of all the men who live near this great valley, you are the one I would want for a friend. And I have been walking about and came and knocked here now because I wanted to sit with you in this hour.
You want to sit with me?
Yes, if I may.
Mr. Jarvis, you know that you can give me only charity. If you were seen to touch my hand, this town, this whole valley would turn against you.
I finished with that. I haven't come here lightly. I shall take your hand whenever I like, before whom I like. I shall come and worship in your church if I wish to worship. May I sit here with you?
Yes, Nasana. This is not a good chair. It's almost the hour. Oh God, oh Tixo. It is almost now.
But there will be a tomorrow, Stephen. Edward will come tomorrow to see Alex. He wants to come and play.
I shall be gone. I shall never see this place again, nor the path where Absalom ran to meet me, nor the hills where he played and came late to supper, nor the room where he slept. Never, never again.
No, you must stay in Ndoshini.
If I stayed, do you know what I would preach her? That good can come from evil, and evil from good. That no man knows surely what is evil or good, or what is good. That if there is a God, he is hidden and has not spoken to men. That we're all here lost. That we're all lost here, black and white, rich and poor, and fools and wise, lost and hopeless and condemned on this rock that goes around the sun without meaning.
Not hopeless, Stephen, and not without meaning. For even out of the horror of this crime, some things have come that are gain and not loss. My son's words to me, and my understanding of my son, and your words in the chapel, and my understanding of those words, and your son's face in the courtroom when he said he would not lie anymore or do any evil. I shall never forget that.
You think well of my son?
I tried not to, but you and I have never had to face what Absalom faced there. A man can hardly do better than he did when he stood before the judge. Stay in Ndoshini, Stephen. Stay with those who cried out to you in the chapel. You have something to give them that nobody else can give. And you can be proud of Absalom.
And he is forgiven, and I am forgiven.
Let us forgive each other.
Umnasana.
Let us be neighbors. Let us be friends.
Umnasana. Before the clock strikes, I shall stay in Ndoshini. You're welcome in this house. I have a friend.
I have a friend.
Each lives alone in a world of dark, crossing the skies in a lonely arc. Save when love leaps out like a leaping spark over thousands of miles. Curtain.